Oh, I think we is live.
Yeah.
Come on, what is it doing?
Oh, we
So if
about
you
to.
want to take the time right now and
Oops.
uh if you want to take the time right now and share it to your page, you can definitely do that. What up, world? Is Radioactive Podcast, and it's your host Ace Boogie, and I have a special guest with me today. Y'all seen her before? Go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
What's up, everybody? It's me again, Jess Mahogany, and I am so happy to be back on Radioactive Podcast. What's going
That's
on?
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm missing my girls, though. I'm missing my
I
girls.
know.
I'm
They
so
are not
sad.
here today. It's okay though. They are here with us in spirit.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's going on, AJ and Sacred?
AJ and Sacred.
Shout
Okay.
out.
So I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Past That Apparel, Battle Print Press, also Madhouse Customs as well. But we also got another sponsor today. So I'm gonna ask you a question, guys. Y'all ever set out and y'all see a car that passes by and it looks clean? I'm talking about the lights are shining off it, detailed to the fit. Well, I got a young man who does the same. Um, if you're looking into get um getting your car detailed, and I'm talking about detailed to the finest. I'm talking about rims. I'm talking about wax clean. I'm talking about all the above. These are the guys that you guys need to come see. So it's actually called. Let's see what it is here. Look, where is it? I have to see what my man's thing is called. Here we go. G Flow's Detail Company. What's going on, my man? So look, check this out, guys. If you guys want to get your cars detailed, this is the guy to go to because he's gonna do it right. I done been to the wash tub, man, and I didn't like the way the wash tub did it. It kind of made me upset. You know what I mean? So if you want somebody to do something for you and do it right, this is the guy you need to call, man. Definitely, man. With G Flow's Detailing Company. All
That's
right,
what's
so
up.
let's definitely get into it, man. Come on, phone, work with me. So I wanted to play a song for us today, and I'm gonna ask you a question about the song once it finished.
All right, I hope I can answer.
All right, here we go.
Got ashes on my pants, my favorite one.
So this here is Rini, and this song is called "My Favorite Clothes."
If you're not here with me, my favorite one.
What's going on, Chantel?
I might as well just
Appreciate you
go.
tuning in.
I leave it in your room, my favorite clothes, and you can wear them out if you want. But just in case you miss the way I smell, it'll just be there. 'Cause I can't make you stay if you wanna go. But I will wait for you, just say come home. Now might not just be the time for us. I know that what we have will always last. Oh,
So in this song, he was he lays out his favorite clothes for his girl, for the young lady to smell, to remember him by, because he did something and he had to go. So listening to the song, what do you think it was that he did to cause him to have to leave? Just thinking about things that men do. What are some of the things you think he may have done?
I don't know because I didn't even catch that. I'm gonna have to rehear that again. But what? Oh my gosh! So he had to leave the house real quick, and he left his clothes.
Yeah, he had to go.
Child.
He left a certain outfit out for her to remember him by. Had a scent on it and everything.
That's a good question. Y'all ladies, help me out there. What did he do?
Well,
You tell me what he did.
I don't know what he did. I'm just he. I don't think he cheated or anything because I don't think she would have allowed
I
him
don't
to
think.
leave his clothes.
I know. I don't think he would have wanted to leave the clothes. Like I couldn't imagine.
She would have threw it out. She would have
That would not
get
be
rid
a
of this.
smart move.
Probably burn it.
That would not be a smart move.
At all.
Leave
At
my
all.
clothes after I then did some trifling shit.
Mm-hmm.
No. So I don't think that. But now I'm truly confused. Maybe he had a surprise for her or something.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because what I want to talk about, because men, we always messing up. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to let people know that women mess up too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't the only ones that mess up. So can you name a time where in a relationship in your past that maybe you messed up and what you learned from it?
Black women don't mess up.
Yeah, so
Just like
black men don't cheat, black women don't mess
We
up.
don't mess up.
Okay,
We
okay.
never mess up.
Maybe you can tell. Maybe you just make up a story. I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, I'm sure I've messed up. I've never messed up to the extent of cheating on anyone. I haven't quite gotten there yet. But, I probably have come close on some occasions, so I guess I can use those. You know,
Okay, let's talk about it.
in which I've almost come close to that. And the question was, what did I do?
Yeah, what did you do, and then what did you learn from what you did?
Well, I stopped myself for one. I checked myself. I did do that, and
No. Well, what is it that you did? You said you stopped yourself. You checked yourself from what?
From look at you, AC. Why you?
I was just wondering. I want to know the story. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I had never actually crossed that threshold into cheating, but there was once upon a time when I was almost there, and I was like, sharing space, physical space with someone else. And we almost got to the point of sharing a kiss, but that didn't happen.
Okay.
Because I think both of us were responsible in stopping that action from going forth. And
Really, both of y'all? Because usually that doesn't happen. It's usually maybe just one person. The other person's all for it.
No, I think both of us were really like, hey, what's this all about? And we were like, I don't know. Let's just take a step back and really, really go in a new direction with this. And then I had to kind of just check my reasons for why. Like literally, that was it. Because most of the time, when people, probably. Well, then that means he would have been cheating, and I guess maybe he would have left the clothes for the side.
He said, "Look, side piece. Be here when I get back."
Yeah, but like in my case, I really had to kind of like assess what was the cause for that. Because I don't think that there's many causes for cheating. I don't think there's much of a reason that anyone has. Because there's so many. No, I really don't. Because there's a lot of people, like you said, who will be down with you cheating, right? There's also a lot of people who like polyamorous relationships. There's a lot of people who only want situationships, right? There's a category for you. There's a space for you, so you don't have to get with someone who only wants monogamy, stay with them, and then cheat. You don't have to do it, So I really had to kind of address those concerns. So that's what happened after was me like saying, and what I learned was it was not something that I wanted to carry with me on my conscience. That's really what it is. I just didn't want to carry that with me.
So did you tell your partner about it, or was it like, I'm taking this to the grave?
Nah, I didn't tell him at the time. This was a while ago. Nah, I didn't.
So this is a him? Was this a him? Did you say him?
Nah.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say him. I said, for real?
Why? What would have been different?
Well, I mean, nothing would have been different. I just would have been surprised. I'm just surprised. That's all. That's all. I was like, okay, hold on, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't really learn much from it because I didn't have to go through with it. I didn't really get in trouble.
You dodged the bullet.
I did. But I just really kind of learned to kind of watch myself in those situations because anyone can be tempted. Even a person with a good heart, even a person, with morals, the devil is out there. The devil is always going to come lurking and trying to get into your face and say, you know what, you said that you're this type of person and this is a character. Let me try it.
So how did you end up in that situation in the first place?
Man, AC.
It's old. It's old. It's the past, y'all. First of all, she's telling me something from the past, so we're not judging today. I want to know how did you get in that situation in the first place? How did it happen? Oh, I was just coming over to do Bible study, and then next thing you know, like what happened?
Yeah, we were just hanging out.
Okay.
Not Bible study, but just normally, regularly hanging out. And there was probably some gas involved at the time.
Some gas? Did you say alcohol? What?
Sure. Yeah, we'll call it that. At the time, and drop defenses, right? Because when things are going on in your life that kind of either put pressure on you or stresses you, that if you're feeling kind of neglected or distanced in any way in your life or your other relationship, so to speak, there's so many different factors that could come into play when you get caught up in that moment. Not to mention like alcohol and stuff like that always kind of just drops your defenses,
Right.
and makes you sometimes not always think coherently, right? And make the right decisions. You can't blame it all on that, but it does play a part. And I, at this time, when this happened, that played somewhat of a part because I was always in a party mood when I was around this particular person anyway.
Okay.
You know, I really was. I was always in like, let's hang out, let's chill,
That's probably what drawed you to the person in the first place, huh?
Right. Not only, you know, were we like intellectually similar, but we still knew how to let our hair down, so to speak. And so that was nice because, you know, it's nice to be a little bougetto. That's what I call myself, a little bougie. But sometimes I just want to get ghetto, and it's okay.
Yeah. So did you feel like kind of accomplished when you didn't do it, so you can hold your head up high, like, nah, man, I didn't even do it. You know what I mean?
I did. I felt accomplished, but I also felt bad because again, and that was the thing that happened after was a lot of introspection because it was like, well, why? It set with me so much. I felt like I might as well did do it. You know what I mean? For a little bit, but then the pride took over, which was, but I didn't. Like you're always gonna be tempted, and you can get close, but you still didn't shoot the shot. You know, you still didn't do the activity. You know, it's like the distance between thinking and act and doing. You got to have those barriers because I think we all think negative or risky or trifling shit sometimes. That's just what to do, but our actions is really what speaks. You know, sometimes I do want to go up and, you know, slap the hell out of people, but I don't, you know.
I feel like slapping them today. Slap.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it is what it is. I don't think like a perfect person. I don't have a clear, serene mind in which negative things or doing things that are quote unquote wrong or harmful or even hurtful to other people. I do think these things, and I don't think a lot of us are free from those types of thoughts. What do we do with those thoughts, though? How do we act? Where do we place them? You know, that's what's going to matter.
So was things awkward after that? After y'all didn't do that kiss, was things awkward?
Yep.
So I mean, did you have to cut that person off, or how did that work?
I wouldn't have had to, but I think we both just went our separate ways. You know, on
mutual.
That.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason I say I wouldn't have had to is because once I checked myself, I checked myself. Not everyone has that type of restraint, I guess. But for me, once I decide to check myself and you're off limits, then that's it. There's really nothing that you can do. I understand that I have the power, and I understand that I'm the one who gives that power up. So I don't blame anyone else. It's always going to be, you know, on me when it comes down to my actions. But I could literally create that separation after that point because I was like, you was tripping. That's what I was saying to myself. You was really tripping, you know, and there is no room for that anymore. And after that, I didn't even see the person in the same light because I just think that there was really something else there that I was seeking, that I was going for. And even though I didn't cross the line to getting it, I don't even know if I would have gotten it, whatever it was. It still was just like that was a deficit in me from whatever I was experiencing in my own life at that time. And that's what led me there. Now that was my own discovery. Y'all might have y'all own fucking discoveries and y'all own tricky situations or.
Yeah, you know, I would like to hear from the people. What situations have y'all been into that maybe y'all cheated or y'all almost cheated? You know, I would definitely wonder about that. You know what I mean?
Situation.
It is. So what I want to, I mean, you know, I'm glad, you know, you did the right thing, which, you know, at the end of the day makes the relationship stronger. I had asked this question last week, and I want to ask you. So should we get back to a point to where we need our partners? It's not like because I have heard women say, you know, I don't need a man, I want a man, you know, and a woman, vice versa, however. So I want to know, do you think we should get to a point to where we need our partners?
No.
No, why?
I think we all like inherently need each other just as a society, just as human beings. But I don't think that we should have to need anyone. I feel like it kind of takes away from knowing if you're truly in love with this person or not, right? And to be in need of someone, it's like, again, where do we draw that line of saying I'm with you because of a need or I'm with you because of a want? First of all, needing someone means if they were to no longer be in your life for whatever reason, whether it's their choice, your choice, whether it's fate, you're stuck because you were there out of need. You know, now I'm not, you know what I mean? And so you don't want to have that dependency because no person is a guarantee in your life. Their length of time in your life is also not a guarantee. They could want to be there, but they could also get hit by a bus tomorrow. Knock on wood.
But see, it sounds like you don't want to take that chance. It also sounds like you're saying that I need you is making me weak, in a sense.
No, but dependent, and that's a different thing. And you don't have
Okay.
to be weak, but I also don't want to feel like without you I'm stuck. And that's kind of what I hear when it comes to the term need.
Okay.
Right now, of course, I want someone in my life that can elevate me, and we can complement each other. You can encourage me and motivate me just the same as I can do you. And you have a presence. We can balance each other in whatever ways it is that I need you to balance me. But if you left me, I would still be able to maintain, hold on,
Hey, auntie.
on my own. I would still be able to achieve some of the things that I need to achieve, even if that means finding someone else. But need keeps you in a place where you feel like you're locked, you're stuck. Now I'm with this person because they are providing for me.
Now, is there a problem with being stuck with the one you love? Say this is your wife. Is it a problem with the stuckness?
You wouldn't call it stuck in that case, though. And that's the thing. When I have the freedom, see, I'm always gonna have freedom in my relationship. I don't want them to need me way too much more than I even, can want to give, and vice versa. I don't want that for them either. But when it comes to that freedom, you don't mind. You don't call it stuck. You know that this person is always gonna be here. You are always gonna be there. You all are, kind of free to live your life and be as such, and still live independently together. And what I mean by that is you're still gonna grow. The moment if me and you start to date today, you're still a whole ass individual with life, with goals, with challenges, with struggles, and so am I. And we're gonna grow, and now all of our interests are not gonna suddenly merge. We're not gonna suddenly become one person. We're still gonna
But aren't you supposed to though?
No. How?
I mean, because we're a married couple now. Aren't we supposed to come one?
We're a married couple. Couple means that there's
It's two.
people in that one unit. And we each have different roles, we each have different needs, goals, and desires. Some of them are gonna match, and we can help and we can complement each other, but we don't have to become the same in order to do that. In fact, I don't need you to become the same as me, because your skill, then you might be diminishing the skills that you have that I actually do need in that sense, right? If we're going to complement each other, that means where I am weak, you must be strong, and vice versa.
Yes. So what about the reflection? You're supposed to be a reflection of me. So what about that part?
We're all reflections. We're mirrors. We're mirrors for each other anyway, and we're still reflections. But even with our own reflection, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but they say that you have never seen yourself. You never looked in the mirror and saw you as other people actually do. That's one thing that we can never really see. People can still be a reflection of you, but not just in the most positive way. People can be a reflection of you also in a negative way. People can still show you other aspects of self. Right? And so yes, you're a reflection of me in some ways, which is we're probably going to be equally yoked in a lot of our ways, and a lot of the things that we do, we probably have the same morals and the same values, but we are still, I hope, distinct individuals. I don't want you doing the same thing that I'm doing every day, following in my footsteps and my shadows. That would be annoying to me. I would literally hope that you have passions and goals and dreams and aspirations that you're trying to achieve as well. I would literally hope that you have differing opinions and points of view so that I can learn and grow. And perhaps they'll be the same. Perhaps we'll have some things that we differ on. Perhaps you can change my mind and I can change yours. But we can't if every step that I'm taking or every step that you're taking, we're trying to be the same. We're trying to be one and the same. We're trying to say, a lot of couples get together and they start to do this whole we thing. We think this. And we think that, and we don't do this, and we don't do that, and if my partner don't want to do it, fine. You don't got to do it, but I want to do it. This is what I'm gonna try.
So does that cause a rift between y'all?
It could for some people, not for me, because again, I value that. I value that so much for myself that I'm gonna, for one, be with someone who values that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when it becomes difficult, we'd have to make those difficult decisions. I remember someone was saying, well, what about if your partner, you know what? In fact, I'm just take this back. When I was at FAMU, a student at FAMU, I had a roommate. Amen. I had a roommate whose husband lived, she was a sophomore for her grad studies, and her husband was like miles away. I don't know. They had to get on a plane to see each other, but they were in a full-on marriage, and she was just now starting her PhD program.
Okay.
And so they had this understanding in this life, which is this is what you want. This is the best program for you. It's not feasible for me to move right now, but we who've been married and living together for all this time are now going to have a long distance relationship. And they decided, and they made that work. And it was a temporary decision, and it was something that they had to work on. They had to do all this. At the time, we didn't even have FaceTime and all that other stuff that we have now, but they had to be creative. They had to make it work. And that's how I feel. If my partner gets an amazing opportunity in another country, I'm like, you better take it. We'll figure this out. When we figure this out, I can be here. I can put it down here if I need to move there. Or even if it means that maybe our season is up. Now, I'm going to a whole nother level. For some people, that might be too much. But it could possibly mean our season is up. We have to be mindful of that as well. But I'm not going to halt you. I would never halt anyone from living. You know what I mean? If there's space for me, there's space for me. If not, there's definitely space for me somewhere else. But we're gonna try. I would hope that you try to bring me with you. I would hope that you are being cognizant of my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings about this. But by all means, don't kill your own life. Because you know what I mean? I just can't see it.
I want to know, because like you said, you seem like you against the, what I was questioning about, becoming one or whatever, and needing your partner. That's what it was, needing your partner. What does that look like to you when your partner needs you? Like, play that out for me. I want to see where your head is when I make that statement. What does that look like to you?
I feel like it's just what it is. It's like for me, you do something that I feel like I am not worthy or capable of doing or being on my own.
Okay.
And therefore I am with you. And a lot of people fall into this trap. They do what is called trauma bonding, or they have a hero symptom. So they're in a bad place.
Is that what happened with Jada?
It could have been, right? Because look, she was the hero. Most likely August, because Jada was his hero.
Okay.
In that sense, right? But it's still vice versa, because a hero, they take a role too. They want to be the hero. There's a lot of people out there that want to protect people, and they are attracted to people with trauma, and the people with trauma are equally as attracted to them. And so here comes these bonds. Here comes them forming codependent relationships, because a hero is really dependent on a person needing to be saved. So they also have a codependent relationship. And now with this person, let's take that person who was going through all this trauma. If they do find a place of healing, right? If they do get to that better place, guess what? You're probably not going with them. You were the medicine. You were the hero. You were the savior. Now I'm good. And maybe now that I know who I am and I can see and I can think clearly, maybe you do fit, but maybe you don't. And guess what? If I'm healed as fuck, I'm not staying with you. I know better.
Right.
And I've learned that you healing me was your choice, not my responsibility. I don't owe my life to you.
So that was your season, pretty much.
That was it. And you were an active participant in your codependency. You're wanting to heal me and all of this other stuff right here. It's very rare. I won't say it doesn't happen, but it's rare that a person who enters a relationship like that, where they were there solely because someone was providing a need for them, it's very rare that once they get to a state of being healed, that they stay with that person.
I got a question for you. Do you believe that in a relationship, someone has to be submissive and someone has to be dominant? Is that a real thing? Or, because you would think in the man and woman relationship, okay, yeah, and you would think it's the man, not always the case, but what about in a woman relationship, a man-man relationship? How does that work?
I think it does play a real role when, I would say it might be easier for two submissive people maybe to be together.
Okay.
But not as easy for two dominant people to be together.
Why you say that?
So, because a dominant role, we already know what that is. We don't really have to define that. And each of them is going to really that's going to create much more of a power struggle, right? If you got two passive people, of course that might be an issue. They might not ever get anywhere in life, to be honest with you. But with two dominant people, I mean, each one of them are going to be very strong. And not that dominant people can't listen, not that dominant people can't take instruction or direction or whatever the case may be, but they're oftentimes more grounded. They're oftentimes more rooted in what it is that they want and what it is that they need, and they're usually going to get it, whether they are right or wrong, right? They're usually going to go for it. And so I think it will be more difficult with two dominant people than it is two submissive people. I think dominant and submissive is really kind of ideal.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's probably the more ideal. Then you have to kind of be careful with those dynamics too. Because the submissive person can find that they have a lot of resentment, they don't have much of a voice in that relationship, and the dominant person can overdose on power.
Ooh, acting like the cops.
Yeah, they can.
How can a person overdose on power? How does that happen?
What? Don't you have you seen any of these cops out here?
Yeah, which I have.
Exactly, that's how.
But look, the cop interaction with this person, you're a stranger.
Is there? So, you think it's different in a relationship?
Will I treat my spouse that way?
Absolutely. This is why we have abusive relationships that are not just physical. Toxic. They are the probably, and I'm not comparing traumas, but the mental and emotional abuse from abusers, people who abuse in that way rather than physical. That's so defeating. It locks you in because as one of my oh my God, as somebody I know loves to quote, not really quote, but she talks about the elephant. Back in the day, they used to train elephants by putting a rope on their ankle and then tying them to a stick. And then they couldn't move, right? But after a while, the elephants became so conditioned that you no longer needed to tie them on the feet. You just put the rope on the ankle and they would stay, you know? And so I feel like that's what happens with those mental abusers. It's like, it's almost like your mama in the church pew. All she had to do was look at you and you're sitting over there. And that's what happens in some of these relationships, you know? It's like, quiet as kept. We can be walking and holding hands and you never touch me, but you squeeze my hand when we get into a crowd of people and I know how to act because you've trained me this way already. All you have to do is just give me a little pat or a tap, or a nod or a stare, and I'm in line.
Yeah.
I'm in line. And if someone doesn't break that from a dominant person who is enjoying that type of behavior and who consistently gets away with it, that's when you can begin to overdose, when you can become, especially if you're already like narcissistic or something, everything is already about you, and it's going to be very hard to break that in a person until they come across people consistently breaking that in them, saying, no, this is not okay, this behavior is not going to be allowed, you won't be able to do it with me.
I can see that driving a person to independence on their own. They don't want to deal with you anymore. But with that being one of the reasons, I really want to get into the independence of the woman. You know, there's a lot of men and probably women out there who feel like a lot of women these days, they're Miss Independent. You know, Beyonce, Webby, you know, independent. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that can sometimes become a problem. You know what I mean? So where do you think it came from? That sense of independence for the woman? Was it because she was getting manhandled by the man so much or being done wrong by the man so much? Like, where did this, it kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere. Like it was like a whole wave of independence in a sense.
I don't know if it came out of nowhere. I think a lot of when that music came out back in the day that you're referencing, I think a lot of that hyped a lot of women up to wanting to be more independent. But the whole, at least, and I'm speaking kind of specifically for black women or women of color. I'm just say specifically black women. I think a lot of that stemmed from the systemic oppression of us, right, and the breakdown of the black family, and us having to be independent, us kind of in a sense being forced to be independent in a lot of areas, and especially even when it comes to nowadays when it comes to, I think we talked about this before, getting public assistance and getting type of help. For us, the man comes along and you need to be in my life and I want you here, but then that's going to cut off the assistance that I so desperately need from the government. That's going to cut these things off. And you mentioned another aspect of the men kind of forcing this onto the women. I mean, I'll go with the word force, because I can see a lot of them saying, I've been through so much trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through so much hurt.
Mm-hmm.
If I can do this on my own, I might as well. I don't want to have to try and fight this struggle of sharing you, doing all of this stuff that I have to do, the mistreatment.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just do my own thing if I've learned to be able to do it and live independently and live a happy, successful life. But I don't think that it stems just from the mistreatment of the man. I'm not going to put it all on how men treated women, that there's this insurgence of independence. I just really kind of think that was really it's the narrative that black women are strong, black women are independent, we can do all of this stuff, and we don't need no man, and that's been perpetuated. But it's also been perpetuated in the fact that we're limited, right? A lot of our men are being taken away, they are being killed, incarcerated unfairly, and so many different issues that we're having. And then we have the systemic issue that's a part of that too.
This is true. Do you see? Can you see how the independence can become an issue?
Mm-hmm. I do. I really do. I think that for myself too. I've said it, like I'm such a I won't say strong. I think outwardly a lot of people see me as strong. I think inwardly I know that I'm strong, but I say that with a grain of salt because I hate the narrative of strong black women. Like we don't need anyone. Like we don't have pain. We don't experience sorrow or grief or loneliness or hurt. We do deal with all of these things. But for me, because I've done so much on my own, because I've learned to live such a good life on my own, and not only live the good life, but be happy with it, like be happy in my independence, be happy getting up and traveling the world, be safe and secure whenever I want to go somewhere, I can just go somewhere, and I feel like I can maintain it. It becomes dangerous in that the moment we have to deal with the natural struggles of any relationship, and I think that's what a lot of people forget, is that you are always going to struggle in a relationship. It doesn't matter how freaking good it is. There's going to be a downside. There's going to be valleys. And a lot of people will forego all the valleys. They will just be by themselves because they're so independent and they're so used to it, so that they can not experience any of those lows that are naturally occurring in relationships. People get so afraid, and this is just one aspect of it, but people get so afraid of having to go through any type of drama that they're just like, I don't need to do that. And that could be a danger of an independent woman because we know we don't need it. And so I'm not even going to, the moment you fuck up, the moment you're deleting one little wrong thing, it's like, I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want this, because on my own, I never have to deal with this.
Right.
I never have to deal with this. I am peaceful, ain't got no problems. I don't think this is the way for me to go. And that can be a problem because it shouldn't be like that. Because like I said, with relationships, it doesn't matter how good it is, you are going to experience the storms. You're going to have some things that you have to weather. You have to decide what that storm is going to look like for you, that you want to make it through. Is it going to be like a tropical storm or Hurricane Katrina, But
because that independence can leave you alone.
It
like,
can.
By yourself, you know what I mean? So speaking of this independence, I want to talk about voting. Right now is voting time right now. So y'all get out there and vote, you know what I mean? What is your thoughts on us voting? Do you think that it doesn't matter?
No, you asked me, you know what? I had the pleasure of getting this question from you last time. I don't know if you remember, and I said I do think that it matters. I think that there's, so many ways to skin a cat, and so voting is one of them. We've seen voting be successful in some areas, whether it was because some people say that sometimes they what was the word I'm looking for, when they are messing with the votes and stuff. But anyway,
I think I know.
Yeah, but they also say, like, if people can do that, then
is
maybe
it voter suppression?
Right, and so it's like some of the votes that count. You hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's just something that they want to count." But for where they don't want us to win, they're going to make sure that we don't, right? And so this is why they say that voting is not important. And another reason they say it's not important, because it's like no matter who you vote for, at the end of the day, a lot of our needs don't end up getting met. Or a lot of the things that we want addressed don't get addressed. We're dealing with that right now with this whole, all we're asking for is police to be held responsible. That's it. We love the Black Lives Matters painting and murals, and we love the Confederate statues coming down, but we was fine with them being there. We just wanted some justice.
Right.
And so that's where a lot of people, I think, get caught up with voting, but I'm not going to ever tell anyone to stop fighting on that end. No, it's definitely necessary. So
Yeah, I think that we don't understand the importance of the voting and how we need to make time. Me myself, I still haven't even got out there and voted myself, so I need to make the time. And it seems so hard, but like, how do you make time for things?
Well, I'm fortunate enough to where I have a job where I'm off one day of every week.
Okay.
Right? So it might be Wednesday this week or Friday of the next week, but it's at least one weekday off. And even when I had the opportunity to like go to, because I work every other weekend when I am working, but
Hmm.
even when I had the opportunity to go to like weekend schedules and working Monday through Friday, I was like, nah, because that one day during the week really helps me. So
Yeah,
that for
I
me,
know you want to use that time probably
yeah.
for yourself, but when
It
you got,
helps to get things done. We
yeah.
get off work and everything that's necessary is also closing at the same
Hmm.
time. So for me, I'm like, that's just kind of how it is. And I had to be more intentional because I'm kind of bad with that. I'm kind of bad with time management, to be honest
Hmm.
with you.
Hmm.
It's not my strongest skill,
Uh-huh.
but it's really kind of being intentional. We make time, we literally make time for the things that we like and the things that we want to do. And we know that, right? So we just have to have that same energy when it comes to doing the things that might not be as fun or exciting, but they are equally as important. We
You
just
know,
got to do it.
talking about time, my barber told me something very interesting. So when my barber finished cutting my hair, he always says, "Man, thank you for your time." And I look at him, I'm like, "Bro, but you cut my hair. Like, why you keep telling me thank you?" He's like, "I'm gonna tell you something, Ace." He says something that people don't realize or know, that your time is the most
The
valuable
highest
thing
commodity you got.
ever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. So, with all these distractions, cell phones, everything, with all these distractions, it seems like it's trying to eat up our time. You know what I'm saying? So, what is your thoughts on how you use your time and how we should start using our time?
But like I said, is not my strongest point. But one of the things I think is a benefit for me is I've never been a social media addict.
Mm-hmm.
I never kind of like I'll get on it, and even now I'm trying to learn how to use it for business and branding purposes. And I
Mm-hmm.
do say learn because it's a skill to have to want to get on there. I feel like it's a skill to have to want to get on here every day and get my mind all just it's draining. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a blessing for me that I can spend a good day and a lot of time on social media. But for the most part, I will put my phone down on the charger and put it in a room somewhere and forget about it. So
Mm.
that's one of the things that I don't have to worry about. But when I am getting caught up on there, sometimes I say I'll give myself a time frame. Like again, literally, I'm saying I'm gonna do this until 7:45, and then at this particular time, I have to do this. And I had to treat my business, the business of me, and so that could be anything it is, but the business of me and what I want to do, not just working for my boss or employer, that's fulfilling their dreams, but the business of me, I had to treat that like another job. I had to
Mm-hmm.
also say, this is your second part-time job, which is the business of you. What is it that you need to do, and how much time are you going to allot? And I think once you get that out, like if I say I need an hour in the evening, at least an hour in the evening of me time, that's when I put my phone away. If you contacted me, you're not gonna get an answer. You're not gonna get a response. And I give myself that time. After
Mm-hmm.
that, then I'm free for everything else. And I think that's really something to do is put yourself at the forefront. Ask yourself, because for me, what happened was I got tired of looking back and saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I got
Mm-hmm.
so tired, and I had to realize no matter what was happening. Like I was just telling the dudes outside, what was their
That's Toon
podcast?
Talk,
Tune
yes.
Talk. I was just telling them I grew up. I spent a lot of my time, literally, people won't believe it, like just being a shy, reserved person,
Mm-hmm.
like just afraid to do some of the things, afraid to showcase my talent, afraid to showcase me. But I get tired of looking back, saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I'd have done this at this time, I probably would be a little bit further along, or I at least would have learned some information. And that's when you realize the onus is on you. It doesn't matter whatever happened in the past. It doesn't matter who did what. At this point, if you want to heal and you make a change, you got to make it for yourself.
Mm.
And the freedom is you get to do whatever you want to do with that. The schedule is yours. Like, you're going to have to deal with people not understanding, but would you rather that, or do you want to wake up next year in the same position?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather deal with those people not understanding and saying, oh well, because what I'm not going to do is wake up next year feeling like I did this year when I woke up saying, you know what, nah, this is not where I want to be, and time is a problem. If I can spend every every night watching a movie while I'm eating dinner, then I have time. If I can spend this time catching up on the drama of the SA Black Social Club, did y'all see that drama? Then I
No. Fill me in. What you
it was
talking
some
about?
like 2 or 3 days ago. They
What
had a
happened?
whole bunch of drama in that group in the San Antonio Black Social Club. If anybody on here is watching,
Well, okay,
that was
no,
a
tell me what
program.
happened. Tell me the tea.
Well, see, I don't do the club a lot, right? It's the Facebook group, and
Okay.
there's an administrator named Dawn.
Okay.
Do you know this person?
Mm-mm. I don't know if I'm part of this group.
Someone just made a post about this admin on the group and saying, I am in no ways related to this person. He is a cheater. He is a liar. Just putting all this stuff out.
Just putting it out
Putting
there.
it all out there. Then another girl jumps in, and they're all in the thread talking about who feels like they've been victimized or used by this particular person.
So they all went in on that one person?
Then the one person. I'm talking about within like an hour, it was like thousands of comments. Then they went on live. The two girls I was talking about. Put out more business, showed more of his babies that are not supposed to be from his spouse. Just a whole bunch of drama. Like it was literally an all day thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting on the dude because they tagged him, so he knew.
Ooh.
But then he made a comment saying, "Keep it up. I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna respond when I come back from my child's tryouts or whatever." And all day long, people was waiting on him to come and respond.
He never did.
People was throwing it out, and people he never did.
But
it's
he
like,
didn't. All
but
them
people
comments.
all those comments, and when I tell you, people was legit tuned in all day. They was legit tuned in all day, and I'm like, if you got time for this, you got time for you. You gotta mind your
That
own
makes me
business.
think. That makes me think what they were saying might have been true, especially if thousands of people want to go in on that same person. Everybody ain't lying on you.
Everybody lying. Some people was like saying that the girl was probably, hurt, that she was somebody that he probably ran through. She was saying that nothing ever happened, but they were just sick of the lies and names being thrown in. And again, then his wife comes up because
She was in it.
He's married, but people were trying to like tag her and find her, and I'm like, this is
Dirty
the
game.
stuff that
Dirty
we
game.
shouldn't do, you know. But again, that goes back to what you were saying about being independent and needing people and all of this stuff. It's like, yes, you become one, but we have to, we just kind of have to kind of get in line with some things because. I think someone asked me, or someone said something about what the Bible says. I think I read that about two becoming one, and the Bible says a whole bunch of things that we shouldn't be doing. And I'm not here to get into that tit for tat, but what I am going to tell you and God and everybody else is, if I marry someone today and I'm supposed to become one with them, and they do some shit that I am not going to live with, and I'm not going to be happy, and I don't feel like the God, whenever me and God communicates, this is what she says she wants from me, then we getting a divorce, okay? We will not be one again.
We cutting this umbilical cord right now.
Right here now. I'm not gonna stand for, you know what I mean? I'm just not gonna stand for certain treatment because I decided to be with you, and we are human people who are flawed, and we make mistakes, we have some kind of decisions, we make decisions that we're not always supposed to make. Yes,
Dang.
the woman had screenshots.
Ooh, they had screenshots. He was telling the woman that he was a single dad when in fact he had been married for 7 years.
And that was another thing. Some women were saying, I always knew he was married. Some were saying, nah, he never told me he was married. So it's like, maybe with some people, and I don't know these people.
Right.
All I said was, this is why I laid real low, especially in that group. I laid real low because they threw it all out there. But I was just like, and we only got on that because of the time thing. I was like, we know we got time. We know we got time to tend to our own business. But like you said, these things become distractions, and we have to decide when to put it up. Even that very day, I'm not even gonna lie, I got caught up in this drama. I was like caught into the show. I was like, but this show is so good.
Love it, hip hop text message.
I dead ass want to get some wine and a movie, but I don't want to leave the theater. Like I didn't want to get up from my seat, and I was like, but I gotta go. I gotta come back. The dude never came back. I don't know whatever happened to him. Far as I know, he never actually came to talk about it. But I was just like, this is what we do.
Oh, I know his marriage is ruined. It's over.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, speaking of juicy topics, did you check out what Nick Cannon?
So I'm still trying to find out what Nick Cannon said.
You didn't get to watch the video? You didn't get to.
I
It's down. They took it down now.
They did. They took it down. I was told by someone today that they took it down, or maybe yesterday. But what I did see of it at the time, and it was in the full interview with
Professor Griff.
Professor Griff. I didn't see the full thing. I was gonna come back to it, and I'm so mad they took it down.
Yeah, you
I'm
missed
so
it.
mad because I was like, I'm not gonna watch this whole thing right now. I'm gonna come back to it. They took it down. But from what I watched, I didn't hear what he said that was so anti-Semitic, and I don't know if anyone.
Guy was lying. Ooh.
Yeah, he was real. He was London. He was really lying about all kinds.
He thought he was a player.
They put his salary out.
No.
They was like.
Too many people knew his information.
Too many people. So that again, you doing too much. And because even if you was only doing with a few people, you was talking too damn much. You couldn't even keep up with your stuff, whether it was true or not. You was talking too much. That's the problem. So anyway,
yeah, Nick Cannon.
Nick, I don't know what he said that was anti-Semitic. I feel like he was quoting a lot of history or things that he learned, but I don't know what he said.
Well, he was definitely. He said he was talking about us being the real Jews. So he was saying that we can't be anti-Semite. He talked about how the Jews are trying to have a plan to rule the world. How they own all the banks and how they make certain wars happen and so forth. I mean, do you believe that we are the real Jews?
I do. And so what was the lie?
Right. That's how I was feeling. But see, he also went further to say things that pretty much said that white people are beneath us. And at that point, you know, I was talking to a lady today, and she white lady, and she was telling me how that made her feel a certain type of way because it made, like, he was pretty much saying that you guys are savages and that you are, because you don't have melanin, that you are beneath us. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that does make us feel good as black people or people of color, but I don't think we can say things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like making someone feel beneath us. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
So, and again, this is the part that I didn't hear him say the white people are beneath us because they're savages.
I mean, he didn't say that verbatim, but it was insinuated.
Oh, yeah, I got it because of some of the things that they did. However, if I had to dissect that on the spot right now, like I'm doing, I'm still asking
for
the lie. I get it. Not all white people trust me. There's some white people that I think will ride for me, die for me, probably harder than I would for myself.
We have allies.
I don't know. And they've been here since racism has been here. But that doesn't mean that we can deny fucking racism just because there have always been white people who didn't believe in racism. There's always been white people who didn't believe in racism. I believe that. So we can't say that that's not true. But when we're speaking about what a savage is and savage behavior, we didn't learn that from our history. Remember, we didn't even have our history. This is the history that y'all gave us. You tell us that this is the behavior that was perpetuated by a certain group of people, and just because they didn't say they were savages doesn't mean that doesn't fit the equation. That doesn't fit the definition. And I guess so. If he said, I know you're not lying. So he said that. He said that these are the savage people. So if he's saying that, I'm thinking, I'm just gonna guess, intellectual people don't have to preface every sentence with "not all white people," because I think we understand that. When he's saying that, it's like, again, I'm still looking for the lie in that. If this is what they did, if all people descended from a black woman in Botswana, which is what they say, if everybody's great infinite grandmother is black, right, and then we had these people migrate, and then they started to do certain things, so we have the original person, which is what he spoke of, which is what the history that he repeated. We've established that. Boom, not a lie. We've established the savagery that we know of as American history. We know that's not a lie.
Right.
I think what might have happened from what you're telling me, because you said that he said the Jews have this new world order where they want to take over everything, which is, well, let's silence this person who's probably telling some truth. Because why are we putting why are we canceling every single thing this person has done? His whole history, like, even if this was wrong, even if he said this wrong thing, because we got a lot of white people, I can go pull them up on YouTube right now, who's been called out for all kinds of racist shit, who've been called out for blackface, who does all these things in public. They still got their platforms. They get to go and say a little bit of an apology. Nick Cannon has had his platform for damn near 20 years, for depending on which one we're talking about. Has never come across with this type of behavior, even though I can't say that it's wrong. And this is what you automatically turn to. This was your response immediately, was just to cancel this dude altogether? It seems a little fishy to me. I
You
don't
know,
know.
you know
Let
the
the
part,
Jewish culture
the
cancel him.
part I think they missed when they came to the savage part was, I look at it like this: if, because I mean in Africa there were savages, you know what I'm saying? So we can say the Watutu tribe against the Haititi tribe. I'm pretty sure the Haititi tribe gonna feel like the Watutu was savages. They were animals, you know what I'm saying? Because they overtook them, you know what I mean? So my thing is, the Waititi and Tutu, whatever, they have names. But when it comes to the Europeans, it's not separated that way. You wouldn't say all Africans are savages. No, we wouldn't say the Watutu tribe.
Right, right.
So when it comes to the Europeans, we can't break
Another,
them.
yeah, we can't break
you
them
know
up,
what I mean?
except for the races or the non-races.
So when he made
which is
that,
what we
when he
don't
said
know.
Europeans, and it was such a wide array, maybe that was why.
Maybe
Because
that's why.
he couldn't say Vikings. He couldn't say,
So
you know.
let the dude further give that explanation, because from what I saw was that he asked what he had done. And I could be wrong, y'all. Like, he asked me this question and I'm just trying to answer, but I didn't do the research on this dude. But from what I gathered, he wanted to know how he could better explain why they took his words where they took his words to. And I think had he been given that opportunity and that platform to do so, he probably could have said that. Because I get so sick of saying, white people this and white people that, and then having to say not all white people. We know that.
Right.
But let's not.
That's one thing.
I don't have anything else to call you. For far as I know, as much as we know about terrorism, I only know white terrorists. Period. I don't know yet. I didn't know Osama bin Laden. Not to say that he wasn't a terrorist, but we have to be able to call things what we call things. If this is what it is in the definition, and this is what you're showing me, what am I supposed to say?
So you think it's more of a perspective thing? You know what I mean? Like I said, because when you're the one who's
I wouldn't like it either. I get it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get it.
You're gonna call them all types of names.
But we don't like a lot of things, and I'm not saying that it makes it right. I'm saying, what do we do about that rather than cancel this whole person? Like I said to you all before, and I might have only said it to you, but when we have people with differing views and opinions, because that's like everybody, unless we are going to live in a bubble, what we need to learn how to do is to teach you. And I don't teach you by canceling you out. They didn't have a conversation with dude. They just said you're canceled because you said this one thing out of everything in your whole entire. Man, this dude got wilding out, and you know how much crazy stuff they be on there saying to
Do
each
you
other?
know any Jewish people? I've been looking for some Jewish people so I can have them on and have
That
this
would be nice.
conversation. I know I want to do it so bad, but damn, I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to feel a certain type of way about myself. I'm like, I don't have any Jewish friends. Why? What is up with that? You know what I mean? And of course, it's
I don't know if
not
that
by
has,
my own fault.
Yeah, I don't know if that has everything to do with us though. I mean, why haven't we just ran across them? Like, I don't go into certain crowds and say I'm only looking for black male friends today.
Right.
Or Christian friends
just come,
today,
yeah.
right? So if I were to meet a Jew person, whether they told me that they were Jewish or not, I'm not going to know, but I would definitely have a conversation with you. But maybe there's a reason why I haven't met him. It's not because I'm straying away from them. Maybe they're straying away from me. Maybe they don't want to be met. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we don't have all the time in the world this week, y'all. But you know we're gonna come back next week with something spicy. But before we go, I need you to talk to the folks. Tell them about what you got going on. Cause you told them up front that you did acting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So tell the folks a little bit, just real quick rundown of what you do and why they need to contact you. Because this woman does some great poetry, okay?
Yes.
She will have you with chills.
Absolutely. And hit me up. Poetry is really my thing. Acting is my lane. I do both acting and poetry, but I think I'm exceptional with the spoken word. I just haven't gone toot my own horn. I do think that I'm pretty good, but like I said, I'm just now kind of getting out into the forefront and trying to put myself out there. I'm also a therapist, but I pretty much only advertise my services for life coaching right now. And there is a difference there. So not only a therapist and a life coach, but I'm an actress, a poet, a blogger, Jess Mahogany, and I combine both of those worlds. I actually do a lot of interviews and skits and stuff on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. It's Jess Mahogany everywhere, Jess Mahogany.
Yay, just Mahogany, y'all. This is RadioActive. You know, I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and See y'all next week.
Deidre, we don't have time, but next time, okay?
Yes, next time for sure, for sure. All right, y'all, man. Peace.